Do you ever wonder what the most popular nutrient of all is? The one that most people know about, who might not even know anything else about nutrition? That nutrient is vitamin C. Vitamin C is by far the most popular and well-known nutrient. Vitamin C is what they call a water-soluble vitamin. In other words, you could take it with a glass of water, it'll be fully absorbed. The deficiency disease associated with vitamin C is called scurvy. There's an interesting story about that. In the 18th century, a lot of British sailors were dying of this unknown disease. In fact, more British sailors died of this kind of strange disease than were killed in enemy action. In other words, they died more of this disease than in any naval battles. Finally, a naval surgeon named James Lind, he started experimenting, and he started noticing that the British sailors really didn't have any fruit rations on board their ships, and he started giving them limes, and it cured the scurvy. He didn't know what was in the limes. Of course, what was in the limes was vitamin C, and the vitamin C basically caused the disease, which turned out to be scurvy, to more or less disappear among the British sailors, and this earned the sailors the term limeys, which even today, all the way to today, sometimes they call British sailors limeys, and this is how it started because of what James Lind found about vitamin C. Vitamin C is also called ascorbic acid. That's the chemical name. The best sources of vitamin C are fresh fruits and vegetables. You don't really see a lot of deficiencies. Vitamin C is so easy to get. It's in just about every fresh fruit and vegetable. Of course, it's in juices too. And it's very hard to get it, but you do see in third world countries where people suffer from malnutrition. Scurvy also turns up in people with mental illness, and also people who are heavy alcoholics who suffer from malnutrition. But generally, to get outright scurvy is very difficult because it only takes 10 milligrams of vitamin C to actually prevent scurvy. Among the other effects of vitamin C is that it's required for the production of collagen, and collagen is the main supporting protein in connective tissue. For example, your skin contains two main proteins. One of them is collagen, which supports the skin structure itself. The other one is called elastin. Now, when these two proteins break down, collagen and elastin, then you get wrinkles and you get aging of the skin. So, collagen is extremely important. Of course, collagen is the main protein structure for all connective tissue. So, lack of vitamin C is going to cause a weakness of connective tissue, and that includes tendons and ligaments and all those other things. Uh, Vitamin C is also important for immune function. In fact, some studies show that vitamin C, over 148 studies show that vitamin C protects against infections by microorganisms. It stimulates the immune system. It also acts as an antioxidant. It helps prevent the oxidation of DNA, which is needed for cell replication, and also protects various body proteins. Vitamin C also extends the life of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, as many of you know, is produced from the amino acid arginine, but it's very ephemeral. Arginine encounters a nitric oxide synthetase enzyme in the endothelial layer of the blood vessels, and it's converted into nitric oxide, but it's immediately it only lasts for about 6-10 seconds at the most. It's broken down, and the thing that breaks it down is oxidants. And vitamin C, being an antioxidant, will actually extend the life of nitric oxide. So anything you take that increases nitric oxide, it's good to take vitamin C with that for that reason. Most animals actually produce their own vitamin C or ascorbic acid from glucose. They have an enzyme that convert glucose in their bodies into vitamin C. Human beings, unfortunately, lost that ability many, many eons ago. So it turns out that these days only humans, a type of animal called the fruit bat, and guinea pigs are the only animals that cannot produce their own vitamin C. Vitamin C is also used in the synthesis of carnitine in the body. Carnitine, of course, is needed to transport fatty acids into the mitochondria, where the fats are oxidized in a process called beta oxidation. but you absolutely need vitamin C to produce carnitine in the body. If you don't have vitamin C, which again is not likely, but let's say you're deficient in vitamin C, your body will not make sufficient carnitine, and you're not going to be able to process fat efficiently. Vitamin C is also required for the production of hormones called catecholamine, specifically epinephrine, norepinephrine, and dopamine. Epinephrine and norepinephrine are involved in the mobilization of fat, and dopamine is a neurotransmitter in the brain that's involved in movement and also in motivation. When your dopamine levels are high, you're far more motivated to do anything in life, anything. One problem with vitamin C and other antioxidants, such as vitamin E, is that they can interfere with some of the benefits offered by exercise, such as increased insulin sensitivity. They think that this has to do with antioxidants. Well, let me backtrack. When you work out, you produce these byproducts of oxygen metabolism called free radicals. Free radicals used to be considered very bad substances because they attack cell membranes and they're thought to cause disease. But a certain amount of free radicals at the proper time is actually very good for your health. And one of those times is right after exercise, because these free radicals, which are also called reactive oxygen species, actually stimulate changes that are beneficial. For example, they stimulate the production of new mitochondria in the cells. Mitochondria are the energy powerhouse of cells where fat is burned and energy is produced as ATP. Unfortunately, when you take a large amount of antioxidants before you train, you actually will block the free radicals from stimulating mitochondria, and you get a whole assortment of problems with that, including decreased insulin sensitivity, decreased mitochondriogenesis. So, it's probably best not to take a lot of vitamin C, vitamin E, that stuff. Don't take it before you work out. Don't take it right after you work out. Wait a couple of hours. Yeah, you still need these vitamins, but just don't take it in proximity to a workout. But on the other hand, vitamin C also lowers cortisol production. Cortisol, of course, is one of the primary catabolic hormones in the body that breaks down muscle protein. Uh, a lot of studies show that vitamin C also seems to increase workout recovery. Its effect on muscle soreness is questionable. Some studies say it helps. Some studies say it doesn't do much for muscle soreness. But generally speaking, vitamin C is very, very helpful for muscle recovery if you take it at the right time. Now, you hear a lot about people taking mega doses of vitamin C. By mega doses, I mean anything over, let's say, 1,000 milligrams. Some people talk about taking 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 milligrams of C. But what they don't realize is that the blood becomes saturated at an oral intake of 200 milligrams of vitamin C. What this means is any oral intake of vitamin C you take over 200 milligrams is excreted out. So keep that in mind. And also, you could take when I take vitamin C, I take about 500 milligrams, and I know that about half of it will be excreted out. But some of that vitamin C, when it gets down to the bladder, for some reason, it seems to help prevent bladder cancer. So even the stuff that you're excreting out isn't too bad. Just don't go crazy, because excess vitamin C, like if you want to take like 3,000, 4,000 milligrams at once, you have a good chance of getting diarrhea from that. So there's another good reason not to take massive amounts of vitamin C. You're only going to be wasting it, and you're going to could possibly cause some side effects. And also another thing to keep in mind, vitamin C lasts in the blood for 12 hours. So if you take 2 daily doses of vitamin C, let's say one in the morning, one later on, you're going to have vitamin C in your blood literally all day long, all night. It's good protection. There was a 2-time Nobel Prize winner named Linus Pauling. Genius, he's called the father of organic chemistry. He won a Nobel Prize in chemistry, and he won a Nobel Prize in peace. Very brilliant man, but he was also a big believer in vitamin C. He suggests that it can help prevent and treat the 2 biggest killers, cardiovascular disease and cancer. However, for these purposes, usually vitamin C is supplied in intravenous form, although Pauling himself he felt that he did some studies, and he found that animals such as gorillas under stress produce the equivalent in their bodies of 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. Again, when they're under stress, because vitamin C is involved in the synthesis of stress hormones in the adrenal gland. So he extrapolated that to humans, and he felt that a good human dose of vitamin C is about 2,000 milligrams a day. Again, it was based on animal, but as I said earlier, a lot of that vitamin C will be excreted. Pauling also said that vitamin C was, he wrote a book called Vitamin C and the Common Cold. He claimed that it can prevent vitamin C around 2,000 milligrams a day can prevent the common cold, or also called acute coryza. Now, the thing about the vitamin C in colds is once you have a cold, vitamin C will lessen the duration of colds by about 8% in adults and 14% in children. However, it won't, once you have a cold, the vitamin C obviously is not going to prevent it, but it'll decrease the duration, possibly decrease some of the symptoms of colds. Now, vitamin C, of course, because of its effect on stimulating immune response, in that sense, it might, having a good amount of vitamin C in your blood will lessen the chance of getting a cold in the first place. In fact, athletes who use vitamin C, they've shown in studies, I should say who ingest vitamin C, they show half the incidence of colds as athletes who don't take supplemental vitamin C. Now, I should also say that one of the controversial things that Pauling said was that vitamin C could cure or treat certain types of cancer. And for this purpose, you had to take, as I said earlier, intravenous vitamin C, which bypasses the oral absorption limitation of vitamin C. In other words, you could absorb far greater amounts of vitamin C through IV. Now, a couple of medical studies were published which checked out this idea that vitamin C can help treat cancer. And they said it turned out, initially they said it was nonsense, but more recent studies show that intravenous vitamin C in large amounts actually does seem to help treat cancer by stimulating a certain pathway that results in the death of tumors. So Pauling's original thesis was correct, as was his idea that vitamin C, to a certain extent, does help to prevent colds to a certain extent. So it turns out the professor was right on both counts. Now, the recommended daily allowance for vitamin C for men is 90 milligrams. For women, it's 75 milligrams. As I said earlier, just 10 milligrams is enough to prevent the deficiency disease of vitamin C called scurvy. Some of these symptoms of scurvy include, for your own information, include fatigue, bleeding gums, joint pain, and swelling and hair and tooth loss. Although excess vitamin C is rapidly excreted, some people are prone to oxalic acid kidney stones because large amounts of vitamin C tend to produce a substance in the body called oxalic acid, which is also found naturally in vegetables. And oxalic acid is, some kidney stones are largely composed of oxalic acid, and certain people have a genetic tendency to have oxalic acid harden into kidney stones, and if they take a lot of vitamin C, they could be at greater risk for having these oxalic acid kidney stones. On the other hand, if you also ingest the nutrients vitamin B6 or pyridoxine and magnesium, it prevents let's say the hardening of oxalic acid. It keeps it soluble, so it does not form into kidney stones, and it's just excreted. Now, a lot of people, again, are also sensitive to vitamin C because vitamin C, as I said, the chemical name is ascorbic acid. It is an acid. It's a weak acid, but it's an acid. Some people get a little stomach upset if they take vitamin C. I'm not trying to sell supplements in any of these videos. I certainly don't try and sell supplements in my Applied Metabolics newsletter. However, there is a type of supplement that is non-acidic, a non-acidic form of vitamin C. It's called ester C, a little bit more expensive than regular C. However, it will not cause any upset stomach, and it will allow people that are sensitive to the acidic effect of vitamin C to take vitamin C with no problems. Vitamin C, also because of its effect on stimulating collagen production and connective tissue healing, is great for any type of healing. Like, for example, if you have any muscle injury or any tendon injury, and also following surgery, it's a good idea to take increased vitamin C. Vitamin C also, there's a big thing now about, for example, ingesting nitrates from vegetables, especially beets, because the nitrates are turned into nitrites in the body, which is converted into nitric oxide. So it's a way of getting increased amounts of nitric oxide. The only problem with that is that nitrate can combine in the stomach with byproducts of amino acids called amines and form a potent carcinogen called nitrosamines. Now, it turns out this isn't as common as people used to think, but it's an outside possibility if you take in a lot of nitrates from, let's say, vegetables or something like that, or beet juice. It's an outside possibility, not very likely, quite frankly. But the good news is that vitamin C and E prevent the formation of nitrosamine from nitrates. So in other words, if you take vitamin C, it'll prevent the formation of this carcinogen in your stomach. So that's another good reason. Uh, Vitamin C is also, a lot of women don't eat meat. They don't like meat, so they stick with vegetables and that type of thing. Unfortunately, the type of iron found in women need iron much more than men do because of their menstruation and loss of blood. Unfortunately, the type of iron found in vegetables is called non-heme iron. It's a little bit harder to absorb than the heme iron that's found in meat and animal protein sources. Now, it turns out that if you take vitamin C with a non-heme iron source like these vegetables, you convert the non-heme iron into heme iron. So you get a much greater absorption of the vitamin C. So that's also good to know. So that's about it for vitamin C. There's a lot more about vitamin C, but again, this would cause a very extended video. I know there's still some people who complain about the length of my videos. They just want me to say stuff, in other words, for them, they want me to say something, look into the camera and say, vitamin C is good for your health, it helps you connect the tissue by. That would be enough for them. Unfortunately, my mind doesn't work like that. I don't think intelligent people's minds work like that. They want to know a little bit background. So I try and give you a little bit more information. So I've given you all the basics you need to know about vitamin C. Again, vitamin C is the deficiency is unlikely, especially if you eat any amount of fruits and vegetables, but it's an extremely important nutrient for health. So I'll leave that at vitamin C. If you want more information, the best available information on nutrition, exercise science, supplements, anti-aging research, fat loss techniques that really work, ergogenic aids, hormonal therapy, supplements, the truth about supplements, which ones work, which ones don't. Apply today to my Applied Metabolics newsletter, www.appliedmetabolics.com. Best source of information anywhere, beats any website, beats any blog. I guarantee it. Why do I say that? Because this newsletter incorporates my 56 years of constant study and actual empirical knowledge from being in the gym, learning how to train, learning what works and what doesn't work. I include this. You won't find this. These people just don't have my background. They can't match what I know. I don't care what their degrees are. I don't care how many PhDs or MDs they have. None of them could match what I have learned over the past half century. And I include this in my Applied Metabolics newsletter. It is literally the voice of experience, and then you will learn something in every issue, no matter what your educational level is. I don't care how far you've gone in school. That you will, I guarantee, I promise you will learn something in every issue, and I give you practical information that you could use today. I'm not trying to show you how smart I am. I'm trying to give you information that you can actually use. So subscribe today to Applied Metabolics, www.appliedmetabolics.com. I do answer questions that are submitted to me by subscribers to my newsletter. I do not respond to questions from people who who just send me questions, unauthorized. I don't do that. I don't have time for that, and I offer my I offer this question and answer thing to my subscribers as a benefit of their subscription. So I'm not going to answer questions for people that aren't subscribers. Also, I should also point out, which I should have done in past videos, subscribers to the videos also gain a membership to my private Applied Metabolics Facebook page, where I also answer additional questions And also, I also supply a ton of information about exercise and nutrition that's even beyond the newsletter. In other words, these are like new studies that, I mean, it's a tremendous amount of information, and that's a bonus to subscribing to Applied Metabolics. So subscribe today. If you want to have your best, you want to find the best friend you'll ever have, go to your local shelter, adopt a dog. They're great. They're the best. And that's all I can say. Take care.